Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Miss Trina with Chat with Trina. Thank you for making the choice to click in today. And I am talking to one of my favorite couples, the Moyses, Beverly and Julian. And we are talking about dating, love, and marriage. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Miss Trina, with Chat with Trina. And I am so excited because this is one of my favorite months in the world. Um, Favorite months in the world. One of my favorite months ever. It is Valentine's month. It is Black History Month, and I kind of stick them all together and make this my Black History Month of love and making love work. I do it every year, and it's actually just so much fun. And I'm looking. One day I'll have a mate, so I like to live vicariously through my couple friends. So I have today Mr. Julian and I have Miss Beverly. Am I saying your name right? Moyse?
Moist, yes.
So what kind of, you mind me asking what kind of name that is, Moyse?
Uh-huh.
What kind of name is that?
Julian?
No,
Oh,
Moist.
Moise.
Moist.
It's French.
It's
French,
French.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I always wondered that.
Some
Okay.
people pronounce it Moise, depending on where you're from
Where
or
you're
where
Yeah.
what part of the world and different
Okay.
families,
Okay.
members.
I probably would pronounce it better that way, but I won't do that because it's not your name. I am told that I met you guys before that, back when Divas was open. Don't
Uh-huh.
remember. I know that I am a product of Houston Bio City Dance Association, and I don't remember a whole bunch of people that they telling me came through. So,
Yep.
we're family because anybody.
Yeah, I remember Divas and yeah, many years ago.
Yeah,
Yep, and he was
yeah.
part of the Houston. Well, he used to
Oh,
he danced back at Divas, learn how to dance. We both learned how to dance at
learned
Divas.
how to dance at Divas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, probably about 8, 9 years ago.
They told me I was like furniture in there, so I was always there. But I took a break from the dance community for a while, so I think that might have been maybe when you guys came in and I missed you guys. Cold outside, so are y'all having snuggling time? Are y'all having cuffing time, as Beyonce say?
Got the
We
fireplace
got a
going, the
fireplace going. We got the
dogs.
heat. We got 2 dogs to keep us
I got
warm.
two
What more
dogs.
could you ask for?
Too funny. So how long have you guys been married?
It'll be 5 years in June, this coming June.
Okay, June what?
June 9th. I'm just playing. I'm kidding. It's June 9th.
June the 9th. Yeah.
I don't know, Beverly. We might have to do something about that one. You haven't been married long enough to forget yet.
I
So
know, June 9th.
Well,
okay, yeah.
we met at Chicago Bar. Uh, Beverly was sitting on a bar stool, the third one from the left, if
You
you're familiar with Chicago
remember?
Bar, and I was sitting in the bachelor's corner, of course, and we had a friend that was there named Carolyn,
A mutual friend.
a
Uh,
mutual friend actually,
oh.
and she waved me over and said, "I want you to meet somebody, and you can take it from there."
And she said, Beverly, this is Julian. Julian, this is Beverly. And he bought me a drink and conversation changed numbers and that was it.
Wow. Ain't nobody said why, but nobody did that for me. It told me so and so, so and so. Ain't nobody ever did that for me.
It was just one of those things,
One
and
of
it's a
those
long story
things.
from there on. But that's how we met.
So being that you both were dancers, you had seen each other before, I assume.
Actually, no, because I wasn't dancing at the time. He was taking dance lessons,
God.
and he invited me to take dance lessons with him over at was it at Divas?
It was at Divas,
At
yes. It
Divas,
was at Divas, yeah.
and I
Gotcha.
went a couple of times. I really didn't like it. I wasn't really comfortable. Well, we were kind of dating. I thought we were dating, right?
Right.
He invited me. I thought we were dating. He invited me. I went 2 or 3 weeks, and then I stopped going. I said, "No, you keep going. That's fine. We'll catch up." And when I went back 3 weeks later, girl, I don't know. I didn't know you're not supposed to leave your man at the dance class. I came back 3 weeks later, and some girl was looking at me.
Now
I'm
you
like,
done gave your
okay.
whole man away, Beverly.
And he said to me, he was always honest. He says, I date other people. I said, okay. we didn't talk for 6 months. I was like, okay, bye. I didn't know the rule. I guess I wasn't single long enough to know all the
Girl,
rules.
these dance community streets ain't playing. You got to hold on to them.
I didn't know. I thought I could let him go dance and I'll catch up with him. And anyway, so for 6 months we didn't connect, and then saw him again at Chicago Bar. We picked up where we left off, so it worked out fine.
Was it the
And by
conversation?
then I had learned how to dance.
And then you brought her on with it, because I see both of y'all dance.
Yeah, yeah, because I was supposed to graduate with him
Uh-huh.
in that class, and then I just graduated like a year later. So I went back and started dancing again.
So did you dance through Houston Bayou? When
No, he did, but
Okay.
Houston Bayou. No, I went through Chicago Bar Bino.
with Janice.
Yeah,
And they don't
Yeah, I
do
was
they
with
don't do French.
Houston
Joanne.
Bayou, Joanne
Joanne
Ford.
Ford. Yep,
Yeah,
love Joanne. I'm actually from Detroit,
I
and
can see that.
yeah, I'm East Coast
even
Detroit,
your,
and he's
And I'm from Ohio
Okay.
by way of Maryland.
by way of Maryland. Yeah. So, I've been here, I guess about 10 or 12 years now. I came here basically to retire because I like the weather. I like hot. And, at the time, the cost of living was very good.
Mhm.
And, I was blessed, to get a nice home.
Mhm.
And I ended up retiring here
Okay.
about 6, 7 years ago.
Yep. And
Okay.
I've been here since I graduated college, so I've been here for a long time,
Okay.
many years.
I was gonna ask you, Beverly. When you say Detroit, you know who you remind me of when you talk. I hear her. I hear her when I listen to you. Althea Renee.
Oh yeah, yes,
When
she's
you
from
said
Detroit. Yes,
Detroit, I said that makes sense because you sound just like her.
yeah. Every now and then I'll go back into my Midwest kind of East Coast kind of slang, so to speak,
Yeah. Yeah.
vernacular. But yeah, I miss
When
Detroit.
did y'all finally say, okay, we are dating? Because apparently that had to be a statement.
Well, now that's a bone of contention because Beverly swears up and down we've been knowing each other for 8 or 9
Since
years
2011.
and saying that we've been dating for that amount of time. Now I have a different recollection.
We can't get on the same page
We
with
can't
that.
get on the same page. We do many things well together,
But
but
not that.
that time is a little fuzzy.
So we dated about 3 years, I guess. I
Okay.
mean, but yeah, about 3 years. I guess maybe two. About
It was probably 3 years before we got married.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. And
Wow.
Julia, what was it about? I'm gonna let ladies go first. Beverly, what was it about Julian that made you really know he was the one?
I sure would have wanted him to answer that, but I'm gonna answer.
I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna ask him too.
I've been asking him that. I've been asking him that question.
He gonna have
You
his.
know, I tell you one thing. What really attracted me to Julian is that, and I told him this just yesterday. I said there is no one like you. He is so unique, so different, and he's so about doing the right thing, about respecting people. Always want to do the right thing on every level.
Mhm.
And I mean, even from double tipping the waitress to I'm like, did you give her that much? That guy, I mean, you name it. He wants to be. I mean, he's just that kind of person. Always thinking about me, always supportive of me, always putting me, putting my feelings first, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I always felt like, what, he's genuine.
Yeah.
Even when he told me I date other people, he didn't cover it up. He didn't lie. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. So it was always genuine, always being on doing the
That's
right
so
thing.
important. It's so important, especially
And treating me right. Yeah.
yeah. And then to be honest with you, nowadays a lot of men won't say that. They won't say, "Hey, right now
Right.
I'm still dating other people," and I
Right.
think that was a great thing for him to do. Even though that ain't what
Yeah.
you wanted to hear that day, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Because I really was on a different level. I'm like, oh, we're not. So I guess, like I said, everything from day one, always being very respectful. I remember, when we first went out on a date, when I would stand up to go to the restroom, he would stand up. I'm like, well, what's wrong with him? But that was he was being a gentleman.
Exactly. And
He'd
you know
sit
what?
down.
that's kind of sad though that we're not used to that. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because a
yeah.
lot of it, because I even have, I've reached for the door, and I've had in recent, and a man will say, "No, don't you touch that door," and I'm like, "What? What
No,
I do?" But he was
I
trying
don't
to
touch the
open the door
door.
for me, you know, and I'm like, that is so sad that I didn't realize this man is opening the door for me. So I think that's
Yeah.
so cool. So Julian, same question. What made you know that Beverly was the one?
I didn't know she was the one until I looked into her eyes and we just connected. Uh, we're an older couple,
Mm-hmm.
and we see things differently than a young person would.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as she said, lots of respect. She's a warm, loving person, uh, and I know I am number one in her life, and that is something that warms the heart. You know, somebody who cares about you and who genuinely wants to be with you.
Right.
So we connected, and it was I don't want to say love at first sight,
Yeah.
but it blossomed very nicely. And I think because of our maturity
Mm-hmm.
and our perspective on life, that we were able to connect and be with one another.
In other words, all the games are over with, right, babe?
Well, we have a great deal of respect for one another,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have to always entertain each other. We're
Yeah.
old enough to know that somebody, we've all had a history.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we all sometimes need some quality time alone.
Definitely.
And we have been blessed and lucky to have a fairly large house,
Mhm.
and we have enough room to give each other
For the
space
space.
when
Yeah.
we need it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, but we can give each other space, but I swear to God, it only takes about 5 minutes for one of us to come and say, "What you doing up here?"
Right. Right. Oh, that's so cute. That is so sweet. But that is true. I tell people it takes two whole, full people, secure whole people to make a couple. And it really does,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to be secure in that I can go into another room and nothing's going on. I'm just having some me time. Were you guys, if it's okay for me to ask you, were you guys married previously?
Yeah, I was married like 20 for 23 years, and I think I've been divorced since like 2010, 2007, 8, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really divorced that long, maybe about 4 years, 4 or 5 years, when I met Julian. But yeah, I had been married,
So you
and
like
then
the, you like
uh,
marriage. You like marriage.
yeah, yeah. I was
Right.
enjoying being single, but then when I met him, I'm like, you know what? I want to get back married again. I like this.
Yeah,
But he was married too.
I've been married twice before,
Okay.
um, and I was probably single 15, 18 years
Okay.
before I met Beverly, and I had resigned myself to the fact that I'm just going to live alone for the rest of my life.
Oh.
And I was okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I met Beverly, and I said, "Boy, this is kind of nice." Here we
Oh.
are together. And we have a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
Uh, we both like dogs.
Okay.
Uh, we both like to travel, although, I've traveled all my life, and I'm basically a homebody. I like doing stuff at home.
Okay.
And, since I retired 6, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, actually, uh, I find more things to do here at home than when I was working.
And
Working.
I'm ready to get on a plane. I'm ready
And,
to go.
and she's ready to
I'm
go.
ready to go.
She's always ready to go. And if some of your listeners are from back east, they may know about a restaurant chain called White Castles.
I
And
know of that.
yeah, and White Castles. And Beverly seems to think it is so romantic to just go get on an airplane,
And go to
you
White
know,
Castle.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, get on an airplane, go to Detroit or Chicago, someplace in the Midwest or East Coast, and have a White Castle, and then get back on an airplane and come home.
I'm with
I
you,
said,
Beverly.
well,
I'm with you.
I know.
I said, well, you can do that. I'm not.
That is, Julia, I can't see you saying no.
He's sometimes he'll put his foot down. He gives me one every year. I give one little token from him.
It's not a little token either.
It's I can ask him to do whatever he doesn't want to do. Like if I want to go somewhere or do something, one token a year I get to redeem. Well, I'm trying to get him to give me two.
There's more to it
but
than
only
that.
one.
There's more to it than that.
That no matter what, he can't say no to me.
Right.
Just that one
I
token.
like that.
Like I said, I'm a homebody. I like being at home. I like doing things, here in our home. But Beverly likes to go. She always likes to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finally said, okay, here's the deal. You get one pass a year. One pass a year. And all you have to do to get me to do that is to say, this is really important to me. And when she invokes that saying, I just drop everything and do it. It's
only once a year though.
But it's once a year.
That would be hard.
I'm trying to get her to use it quickly.
He does it more than once.
I've always heard don't go to bed angry. Actually, that was one of the things when I was married that I was told when I first got married. What do y'all think about that? Do you think it's realistic?
You go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sir.
Oh, I agree with that. I really agree with that. We try not to really take anything into the next level or stew over something because that is so important. I learned that years ago. Really, that's true. We don't go to bed angry, and we always make sure that in the morning, at night, we say good night. In the morning, good morning. We start off right, no matter what happened the day before. We just have to realize that's that respect that you have to have for one another.
Right.
Well, I agree with that.
Trina, I'll tell you. In the time I have known Beverly, we have naturally evolved to the point where we don't argue about anything. I cannot remember us having an argument. We sometimes have disagreements, but we're able to work those kind of things out. And again, that has to do with maturity and love and respect for one another. I cannot remember us actually having an argument over anything. Okay. Now we may disagree. We actually do well with one another, but there are two areas that we have difficulty with. A lot of difficulty, as a matter of fact. But again, you have to choose your battles.
It's directions.
You have to choose your battles carefully. But there are two areas that we really have problems with. One is this computer that we were messing with tonight.
Technology.
She does not have the patience to work with it, and to let it work. She's impatient with it. And secondly, as most men will tell you, we have difficulty with directions.
Can I say something about on directions?
Yes. I would love to hear that one.
Can I? Yeah, so he's process oriented, methodical, linear thinking. I gotta say this. Julian worked for the airline, right? He was a flight attendant for years, but they weren't. He wanted to be a pilot. They weren't letting black men be pilots back when he started. Gotcha. He went and got a pilot license, had a plane, would fly around and wait. And I always, when we get confused on directions, I say, now how can you fly from here, from New York to Chicago, and we can't get down off of 1960 without getting lost. I don't understand that.
Well,
That's funny. That is too funny.
here's the
You
problem.
can take a plane all the way across.
Here's
All over the
problem.
world, but you can't get down the street.
Here's the problem. I have a GPS
Old school.
in my car. She has a GPS. So to give you an example, say we want to go to Chicago Bar, which is a straight shot from our home down 1960, and we're at Chicago Bar.
Mm-hmm.
This is just an example.
Mm-hmm.
Now we may get in the car and we'll start off on 1960, and she'll say, "I know a shortcut.
Beverly.
I know a shortcut." And we will drive through all these
back roads. I know, because I know them all. I know the roads.
and it's
He does
dark,
it.
and it's dark, and inevitably she doesn't know where she's going, you know.
Whatever.
And then she pulls out her cell phone, and so she's got this cell phone in her hand, and if she's driving, she's asking directions, and we're going down these dark roads, and
I think they get the point.
well,
Beverly, is that what you do for real?
I just want to make
You
sure
should, you
everybody-
open up a can.
I
You
wanna
open up a
make-
can of worms.
I want to make sure everybody knows that, you know, Beverly knows back roads and secret ways to get
That
places.
is too funny.
Now, you know, we saw a thing on Facebook not too long ago,
Uh-huh.
and it was a picture of some railroad tracks. I don't know if y'all saw that. It was a picture of some railroad tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and as men see things, there were some railroad tracks that just went straight ahead.
That's him leaning.
Straight ahead. Straight ahead. That's how men see things.
Yes.
And then there was a picture of how women see things on a railroad track. And there were tracks going everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
All over with your way up.
So anyway, those are about the only two things
Yeah,
that
you
we.
struck a nerve on that.
What about communication in your marriage? Like, you know, we're young, everybody wants to be right, and you know, somebody got to be wrong sometimes. How is communication being a more mature couple?
Oh, this, you know, like he always tells me, you're not gonna get a rise out of me. So in other words, I can't. You can sit there and talk and fuss or whatever, but you know, he's the most laid back, cool. What you see is him.
Yeah.
Even when all this, you know, when I'm disconnected and lost, you know, power and all that, he's just calm and cool. So it's no fun. You can't argue by yourself, right?
You cannot argue by yourself. That is
So I'm
so
like,
funny.
oh, okay, he ain't gonna fuss with me.
No.
Well,
So then you
he's
just
like,
move
what's the
on.
point? Yeah.
But it can be frustrating. My husband was like that too. Like, he ain't gonna argue. Look, can you please argue with me for 5 minutes, please? Give me 5 minutes.
So I don't get any thrill or joy out of it. So we just basically just, you know, figure out logically what makes sense. And you know, sometimes we just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But also being, you know, the man is the head of the household from a biblical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I do try to respect that, you know, if he puts his foot down on something and say, you know what, you know, we're just not going to go on this cruise this month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to be a little bit upset about it, but I will go ahead and, I'll let you go ahead and win that one. So,
I didn't know this.
you don't know that, but I do let that in the back of my mind that that you have to think about that as well.
Well, let me ask you this, just because I know you love you some Smokey Robinson.
Girl, I almost lost this man over Smokey.
So my thing is, I know you be going to see Smokey here, there, and everywhere. You told me that Junior gonna put a stop to that if you don't quit going to see Smokey Robinson.
Well, you know, the funny thing was, I get on the plane and go see Smokey wherever he is. You know, I do that. So the funny thing, years ago, he vowed he would never go see Smokey with me again because he was in Houston, Smokey. Yeah. It was 100 degrees in July. He had on a suit. We were at the Jones Hall.
I got to tell this story.
Oh, no, because you tell too long. It takes too long.
I'm going to tell the story.
Okay, but don't take too long.
It's so funny.
I was new to Houston.
See, there you go.
I was new to Houston. Beverly and I just started dating. She said, I want to go see Smokey Robinson. I said, wow, we can go see Smokey Robinson. So he was at what, Jones Hall?
Jones Hall, 100
Jones Hall.
degrees.
Jones Hall. And it was July or August. I mean, it was blazing hot, you know. And I said, okay, we'll go see Smokey Robinson. So, we get in the car, we drive down to Jones Hall, and I'm driving this big Lincoln Navigator where there's no place to park,
Of course.
So we get to Jones Hall, and I said, my love, let me let you off. And, you can go get the tickets because they were at will call, and I'll go find some place to park. So off she goes, and I find a place in a garage about 5-6 blocks away,
He had on a suit
and
too,
I had a suit, and it's blazing hot. So I trudge back to Jones Hall, and they have a plaza there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for Beverly, and I say, well, where is Beverly? And she naturally didn't have her cell phone with her, So, and Jones Hall has these tall glass doors and windows, as in for the entrance. And so I'm standing out there for about 20, 30 minutes. I said, well, where is she? And I finally walk up to the door, and I put my face to the door, to the glass. And inside they're having this reception, this private reception for Smokey Robinson. And I look in there and I say, well, that's Beverly. She's just the belle of the ball, having a great time.
Champagne, caviar.
She got some champagne in her hand.
Waiting on Smokey.
And I said, well,
I talked my way into the reception because Smokey was on his way in there. I forgot about him.
I said, I will be honest with you. We had just started dating, and I said, this could be a game changer. This might be the end of something that may have been good.
He won't go see Smokey with me no more. That's
so
fine.
I don't do Smokey.
That is funny.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that story to end that way. Not even a little bit. Beverly,
I walked in and I saw a guy I knew from years ago who was on the door of the private reception for Smokey. Yeah. And I said, can I get in? He said, yeah, come on. And I sneaked in, didn't have a pass. And Smokey was doing this for Smokey. He was on his way. I had forgot. I had the tickets. They gave me champagne, caviar, hors d'oeuvres, and I was so hyped up.
Park in the car. Let him.
And if you could,
I had a glass for him. I said, you want some champagne?
Well, to take your camera out and take a picture of what she was doing.
If you can imagine, my face pressed up against the glass. It's 110 degrees. I'm sweating, like a pig. And there is my date, just the belle of the ball. I said, well, we'll see about this.
So anyway, he's seen him a couple of times with me after that, but after that it's like, okay.
Someone asked Beverly, so how many times have you seen Smokey?
Well, I grew up in Detroit, so I would see him at Motown Review all the time. I would go see him rehearse and all of that, all the Supremes and all of them. So Gladys, they all live in the neighborhood. So I would see them for years as a kid. That's why I'm so, I just go way back in my mind, like they're my friends, right? But over the years, I've probably seen them about maybe 15 to 20 times. I have pictures back 20 years ago with, behind stage, backstage, when you could go backstage easily. Yeah. I've talked to people into letting me get back behind,
Okay, I'm gonna have to work on that. Now, I have the gift of gab. I got to figure out how I'm gonna do that.
I have gifted gab and talked, the cops, the security, anybody. I told the guy, you don't understand. I just have to get it. You don't understand.
Okay, so I'm gonna figure this out the next time Maze roll through, because Maze is who I don't miss.
Well, I have to help you with that.
Yes, date night. That was something very important when I was married, was having a date night. Now I know that you guys have date night because I see you. Is that something that you both have agreed on, that that's something we've gotta be sure that we do?
Yeah, not as consistent as we would like to.
What's that date night?
Date night.
Oh yeah.
But last week we had a date night. We went up to the theater room, and, movie room, and had popcorn and made it. We
Oh,
pretended we were at the movies. That was fun. And like you said, we
that
never
was
left the
nice.
house. But
Yeah.
that was a date night. No interruptions, no dogs, anything.
Right.
So we try. I got him off of 1960 to Scott Gardner a couple of weeks ago, but he
Mhm.
lost his wallet and swore he'd never leave 1960 again. He was but we try to do that, but not as often as we like. But we do try to have one night where it's just about us.
You
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's pleasant. We like doing little things.
Right. And
We
that,
going
you
to the
know,
gym.
We
I
don't
don't mean to
have
cut you
to.
off, but the little things are the biggest things to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, little things, and we'll sit down and watch a movie and have some popcorn. And as I mentioned, we have two dogs, and the dogs will come up there and nuzzle up under us.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's nice to get out every now and then. We go dancing at least 2 or 3 times a week
Right.
for sure, and that's a nice social outlet. We enjoy it. We enjoy the people in the dance community.
Hmm.
Uh, and in general, on Sunday nights, you
You
can
know where we are
you
Sunday.
can catch us at Chicago Bar and Grill on Sunday,
Yay, Rudy.
and
Look
that's
at
almost
that advertisement. Chicago born.
Yeah.
well,
The doors open at 5.
Yeah, right.
It
that's
starts
all.
at then Hard to Find comes on at 9
Oh
o'clock.
yeah, hard to find. Yeah, I love
We
them.
ain't mission until 8. Chicago Bar and Grill every Sunday night.
There you go. Get your plug in, girl. We love it.
Well, we we go to Chicago. We sometimes try to let it rest, but we enjoy going.
Yeah.
And Beverly and I do not have a large family.
Hmm.
It's just I can count relatives on one hand, and she can
Okay.
do the same.
Hmm.
And so over the years that we have been going to Chicago, we've met some wonderful people and made some good friendships and associations.
Hmm.
And so we see date night at Chicago Bar and Grill on Sunday night as a night to be with
Yeah, we're
family.
doing 2 date nights now.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the
So you
gym
don't
or go to the
consider,
workout or do something.
you guys don't really necessarily consider your Chicago Born Grill night your date night. That's
I
just,
don't. You do?
What's that?
Do you consider Chicago Bar a date night?
Yes.
oh, you
I
do?
don't. I don't. I want another date night. I love Chicago Bar, but I want something in addition to.
In
In
addition,
addition.
we just going out with family on that night. That's not date night.
Yeah, right. So we're trying to do an extra night too.
Is that getting down on one knee, Julian?
Oh, he proposed to me at Chicago Bar, but did you get down on one knee?
No.
I
No,
think
he
I
didn't
was
get down on
there.
one knee. But it was beautiful. It was a surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we were gonna get married. I didn't even know he wanted to get married. I had no idea.
What made you decide at that moment that it's time for me to ask her to marry me?
Yeah, I've been asking him that for years.
Well,
What made you decide?
I was in love with Beverly.
Oh,
Aw.
I mean, it's pretty
I mean,
simple.
It's simple.
I was in love with her, and I said, well, it was Easter weekend, and her birthday is during Easter week, and I said, well, this would be a nice time to,
that was a
to
surprise.
ask her to marry me. And
Wow.
so, uh, during the intermission at Chicago, the band was taking a break. I had told them I was going to ask her to marry me,
Uh-huh.
and so they stayed on the stage for a little bit, and they did the birthday thing for her,
Hmm.
and then I said, well, just stay here for a minute, you know.
Yeah, Charles was the MC.
Charles,
Hey, Charles.
Charles Anthony was the MC, and he said, well, Beverly, stay up here for just a minute. And I came up there and, I had a few words to say to the audience. And then I said, Beverly Allison, that's her middle name. I said, will you marry me? And she said, yeah.
Did you say yeah that quick?
I was in shock, but yeah, I was
Not
just.
only that, Beverly, you got to remember what happened at Diva, so you couldn't be waiting around for somebody else to come up and grab.
I know, right?
You had learned the rule by then.
I learned the rule. You can't wait. You can't leave.
Wait, wrong time. I'll tell you, when my mom told me she was getting married to her second husband, who I love, he's the best bonus dad in the world. He treats my mom great. But when she first said, I was like, "What are you doing? You just met him. Like, that is too quick." She was like, "Look, I'm old. I don't have time to be courting."
And not only that, at our age, 5 years of marriage is like 40 years. I mean, I swear, it's like 1 year is like 7 years in a good way. But, you know, like when I meet people, they go, "Oh, how long have y'all been married?" We say 5 years or 4 years. They're like, "Oh, okay." They're thinking we're going to say 40.
I wasn't at your wedding, but I have seen the pictures. I have done the research. Where did this horse come from? You was on a whole
The horsey.
The white horse named Cinderella. That was his idea. It was
I knew that. I knew that.
That was Julian. He had to be different.
Yeah.
And it was like during the royal wedding, you know, the royal wedding was in the same time frame. Right. And I forgot how did it come up, but I know he said, "No, we're gonna get a horse and you're gonna come down the street on that horse." I had to go practice on that horse. How did you come up with that idea? That was
you know, there's a horse stable not too far from here.
Thank you. Horse stable.
And I said, well, we got married in our backyard.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, maybe we could just get a carriage, you know, with a horse. But, you know, like I say, we have a fairly large backyard, but there would not have been enough room
for the carriage
to get a carriage back there and to turn the carriage around and to leave.
Okay, I didn't know how you came up with that horse, but I loved it.
So I said, well, you know, a horse would be nice. And
was it a surprise, or did you know, Beverly?
Huh?
Did you know about the horse before?
Do we have a horse?
Did you know about the horse before the wedding day?
Oh yeah, because I had to go to the stable and practice in my wedding dress for like weeks at a time.
Okay.
And then the strap broke. That was on them, not me. but yeah, so I knew about it. It was hot in that way. I think it was getting back at me about Smokey, because he had me at the wedding dress on practicing in 100-degree weather.
That's what it was.
He was getting back at me.
I have to admit, it was a fun time.
It looked fun and beautiful.
Thank you.
Beverly came down the street. Larry
Williams played the sax.
Was playing the saxophone. My satin doll, and she clopped down the street on the horse.
Yeah.
Came into the backyard, and I was back there waiting for her.
Awesome. So Beverly, how was it as magical as you would have wanted?
It really was. It really was. I really felt it was unique and different because everybody was out there waiting for me. They didn't know where I was coming from, how I was going to come. He'd already got with the neighbor to let us the horses in a trailer around the block. So all they could see was just me coming down the street. They don't know how long I've been riding, where I came from. Yeah. So it was kind of staged, like, you know, they just didn't know. So that to me was so magical. Yeah. And everybody was so supportive and there, and just, you know, my friends and family.
That's almost better, to be honest with you, than the carriage, because it was so different, you know? Different.
And then I think it was the oldest wedding party I've ever seen. I love that part because people, between my friends and his friends and the knee placements and this, they were walking down the aisles dancing. I'm like, all of them. And, I mean, we're going back 40-year friendship. As a matter of fact, I called two of my girlfriends that were in my first wedding. Mm-hmm. They live in Detroit, and I called them until I was getting married. They said, "Well, you know, I'm too old to be at a wedding." I said, "Dust that dress off you wore 40 years ago."
Come on here and be in this wedding.
And they were in my wedding again, so yeah, it was nice.
That's really. Let's go to blended families real quick.
Yeah.
I know, because I met your son and your grandson a few years ago. Julian, do you have any kids?
Do you have any kids?
Yeah. I have one son that is in Maryland, and he is almost 40 now.
Yeah. Okay. So what did they think when you guys told them that you were getting married again? Was that good?
Well, my son was like, and he was kind of like, "Oh, whatever, you know, whatever."
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, and his son, same thing. They just, you know, they really didn't
Have a
have
okay.
anything. They didn't have a dog in the fight. Put it like that.
Right. And they knew it.
Right, right.
Oh,
But
that's good.
it's okay now. It's everything's fine now. It's like they get along well. So I'm very fortunate.
What advice would you give a couple who's about to embark on marriage now? And I'm gonna go with a more seasoned couple.
Hmm. You know, I would say just know that life is short and enjoy every day and not let the small little thing, you don't have to be right all the time. You don't have to win every argument. You need to respect each other. And and don't take your business on all out, Instagram and Facebook and my husband did this and that's what I see the young kids do. They get mad, they tell everybody, they ask everybody's
Oh,
opinion,
yeah.
they talk to their relatives. Those are things I did years ago. Talk to my relatives, so those type of things as a mature person, it's like, it's about me and him and about our happiness. And, we might be going tomorrow. So we better enjoy every minute we can. Every Smokey Robinson concert I can get. I mean,
You better stop on that Smokey Robinson over there, Miss Beverly.
yeah. So to me, that was what I would say is really just don't let the small things get you. The things that just are so irrelevant. It's so,
Like they say, don't sweat the small stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Well, the
Mhm.
things that were important to you, 30, 40 years ago, do not hold the same significance and weight as they do when you become older. Uh, Love, especially at our age, is an emotional feeling. It is not so much physical.
Mhm.
It is more. The word I'm looking for is warmth.
agape.
You know, we
Agape love.
yeah, we I have to tell you, these have been the very best years of my life.
Awesome.
And I have been around the block a few times, and I can tell you unequivocally that these are the very, very best years of my life.
Wonderful.
And I hope I have a whole lot more with this wonderful woman.
Oh,
But
that's so sweet.
I can say that I am truly content. And you know, uh, when you get married at a later age, contentment is important.
Yeah, no stress. Can't have no stress.
We do not.
No stress in the job, nothing. None. I
Yeah,
can't have any of
yeah.
that.
We do. We
You
do
know what
not.
I
We
did,
do not
Beverly? So.
stress. You know, and there is no. I should say there's very little
Mhm.
drama,
Right.
and what little drama there is brushed by the wayside,
Right.
uh, because we know that we have each other, and that drama will pass, but
Mhm.
our love for each other and respect will endure,
Yeah.
you know, for the duration.
That's pretty nice.
Uh,
I
That was
love
pretty good,
that.
wasn't it?
That was really, you put that really, really well. What is the most romantic thing Beverly has done for you?
for me,
Yes.
I'll tell you,
Men always do that. They be like, oh, but go ahead.
I will tell you, and this will surprise you
Okay.
because it is not necessarily romantic,
Uh-huh.
but when we were dating, uh, early dating, early dating, uh, as I told you, I was from Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure if you're familiar with who Mesa is. The singer,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful voice,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful voice, and she was performing in Maryland, just outside of Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really excited about going to see Mesa. So we bought the tickets, and got on the airplane, and one of my very best friends and his girlfriend went with us. Uh, and it was a small venue. You know, it probably only held 100 people, 150 people at most. And so, Masa's there singing, and she's got this orchestra with her. I mean, it was really an orchestra. She had three violin players and,
Oh.
all kind of stuff. And she sings romantic kind of songs, love songs. And so we're sitting there, and the venue has like tables, where you can order food and drinks and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, and at the end of one of her songs, she says, "Julian, are you in the audience?" And I wasn't paying attention. And my friend Gary says, "Well, they talking about you,
he kept
Julian."
saying, "She's gonna be singing to me. She's gonna be singing to me."
Yeah, and I was
That's
kidding.
what he had been telling me.
I was kidding.
Joking.
Yeah, jokingly.
I was kidding all night long.
Beforehand.
She's singing to me, and she says, "Julian, are you in the audience?" And I said, "Yes," And so, and this is probably what cemented the deal with Beverly. She contacted not only Mesa, but she contacted her road manager.
Everybody.
She talked to a lot of people, and she was saying, if you can, would you recognize, my boyfriend, and if we could meet you after,
he was retiring too. He was retiring.
And I was retiring.
Yeah, so that was
she
had us come back on stage.
She called me out, and then at the end of the concert, she says, "Julia, come back here. I want to see you."
Yeah.
And that to me showed me that this woman has some real feelings for me. I don't know of anybody else who did anything like that for me in the past. And
it's those kind of things where like buying a gift, that's just, buy a gift. Yeah. But to know someone put so much thought and effort.
Yeah. Right. And it was not an easy thing to do.
No.
No. And so I kind of knew at that point that sealed the deal for me.
See that, now, better look at you. Look at you.
It takes men a little longer to understand what sealing the deal means. Yeah. But that was a sealing deal moment for me.
Sealing deal, I like that. Yeah. Okay, Beverly. I like that. What do you believe? I mean, what is your sign, Beverly?
Aries.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's Aquarius.
Okay. So that was good. So Beverly, tell me, same question. What is the most romantic thing Julian has done for you besides the horse? That's the horse. I'm just joking.
Two things really, but one little and one big. But the big is and the little. He surprised. We said we were going to renew our vows at our fourth year. Fourth year. And
third year.
Third year, we renewed our vows. Like I told you, in our age, that's like 21 years, right? So we were going to have a mock-up, come in the backyard like we did before, just he and I.
Yeah.
And he told me to go upstairs and get dressed, and we're just going to replicate our wedding, just two of us, go back in the backyard and have it, enjoy each other and have our wedding vows.
Yeah, and the minister was there.
And he surprised me with, when I came in the backyard, first when I came in the backyard, the minister was there. And we had Ellis was there, and Charles and Nina and Jasmine. He had a couple of people there. It was during COVID, so we don't have a lot of people.
Of course.
But we actually renewed our vows, and the original minister was there, and he surprised me with a renewal. And I just didn't know that. Now I surprised him with another horse.
She did.
I had a horse when we came out the front door. The horse was in the middle of the street, standing there with the lady Wrangler. He said, and he's like, "Well, what's the horse doing there?" I said, "That's for us." He said, "No, it's not for us." I said, "Yes, it is." So I surprised him with the horse, not the same horse. And he surprised me.
I thought you were joking.
No,
Like there was
I had him come and do it again. But again, I was surprising with that. But the fact that he went through all of that and,
yeah.
and had arranged the entire wedding all over again, that was awesome.
Can I ask a question, Julian? Was that
Yes.
the same event where you were trying to get a violinist to play for?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
yeah,
trying.
Dominique.
Gotcha.
We were
Yeah.
trying to get Dominique,
Yeah.
and
The small thing that he did with me, I was gonna say the really, really, really quick romantic thing was when we went to dinner for my birthday. Joe V? No,
no,
Eddie V's. Eddie V's.
Ladies.
And I couldn't eat all, we just couldn't eat all. It was a nice meal. The next day, he set the tablecloth, had a white tablecloth at home, took my leftovers, our leftovers, and the china, the crystal, and recreated the entire dinner. The
I saw
rolls.
that.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
I
You
did
had
good.
you played the waiter?
Huh?
Did he play the waiter?
He does that at Thanksgiving though, because
Yeah, okay,
his
that's what I'm
grandfather
talking about.
does that at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
He serves his family and he does it as a tradition. But not then he didn't. Yeah. But he has the white, linen
Yeah.
tablecloths and the napkins. It was nice.
That is nice. Well, see, and that's the thing. I think that's what becomes important. I think when you get married at a more mature age, what
Yeah.
was just like what y'all said, what was important back then is not important now. So
Yep.
one of my favorite shows is Divorce Court because it's
Uh-huh.
hilarious. And that's the thing, you can see it when a more mature couple is on there talking, and the younger, because the younger, what they talking about, you be like, what are y'all talking
That's
about?
nothing, right?
That is such nonsense.
He didn't answer my text.
Or I'm all up in his phone. Like, why are you in anybody? Why is anybody in anybody's phone? Who has that
Right.
kind of? So yes, I definitely see that. Now I'm not gonna lie, but to be honest with you, when I was young, I did that, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
we all did that.
It was a beeper, but back then,
A beeper.
it was a beeper.
You're not old enough to know about that.
Yeah, I want you guys to turn a little bit to the back so you can't really see each other right away.
Okay.
What we have to
Just
do?
Gotta
turn
turn
to the
around.
side. Like
Turn
you
back.
turn one way. There you go.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do this well.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask.
He turns his back to me well.
I was trying to pretend like he didn't say that. So when I ask the question, whoever does it, you guys just point at the person that does it. Point at yourself or the other person.
Okay.
So for example, who initiated the first kiss? So Julian, you pointed who initiated the first kiss.
Is this a trick question?
No. Point to me or you.
Point to me or you?
Who initiated the first kiss?
You kissed me.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Who apologizes first if there is a difference in opinion?
A difference what?
Who apologizes first if there's a difference of opinion? Who apologizes first?
Oh, I do.
Okay. Who is more romantic?
What was that?
Who's more romantic?
Oh, Beverly is for sure. Yeah.
I say you are.
Okay, here's one. Who's the better cook?
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Y'all both
Can we
look
do a
like
draw? Can we do a draw? Can I just point out? I think I am.
Julian, can you
Beverly
cook?
is a better cook.
I am.
Okay.
Huh?
Can he cook?
Yeah, he does cook. He does. He does well with steaks and omelets and all.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm a better cook overall.
Who takes longer to get dressed when y'all are going somewhere?
Oh, Beverly for sure.
Yeah, I do. I change outfits 3 times.
Who is grumpier in the morning?
Who was what?
Who's grumpier in the morning?
Oh, I'm not drunk.
Did he say he wasn't grumpy?
It would be me then. I would say yeah.
Yeah, I'm a morning person. I'm like, good morning.
I know. I do that at work and they look at me like, girl, shut up.
Yeah, right.
Who spends more money?
Ooh, who spends more money, honey?
Oh, Beverly. For sure. Beverly. I don't have any money.
Whatever.
Who is the bigger baby when they are sick?
Who's the what?
Who's the bigger baby when they're sick?
Oh, Beverly.
Oh, you are just not
For
telling the
sure,
truth.
Yeah.
I know it's me for sure.
You
So
know it's him.
who's the most spontaneous?
Me.
Okay.
Sorry. Who's most spontaneous?
Oh, Beverly is for sure.
Who texts or calls the most?
Who what?
Who texts or calls the most?
Oh,
Me.
Beverly.
I can see that.
Yep.
Who said I love you first?
Who said I love you first?
I think we said it to each other.
Yeah, well, we don't remember. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have to go back and look at my notes.
I know about the directions, but who's the better driver?
Ooh, who's the better driver?
I am.
Of course. The men will always say that.
Yeah.
Beverly scares me.
I know I scare everybody.
I'm gonna go along with that because he's a safer driver. He's more precautious. He's slower driver. I got that lead foot, so I'm gonna let you have that one.
So last question. Oh my gosh, because it's not written down. It's one I had in my head. I was mixing one with another. Before I get to that one, who's the most funny? Who's the funny one?
Who's the funny one, babe?
Me.
I can see Julian making jokes all the time.
I'm
funny.
He is. He cracks me up.
I can definitely say. So okay, you guys can turn around. That was fun.
Think that was fun.
Yes. So my question to y'all is, do you guys know what where the line is? Let's just say, I don't know, Beverly, you want to go see Smokey. Do you know when it's time to give it up? And same with you, Julia. Do you know when something that's going on, even though you're the laid back one, do you know when it's time to say, you know what? And I guess you can say for both of y'all, y'all know when to let it go.
Yeah. Do you know when to draw the line? Like, you know how you know when it's time to just say, you know what, that's gonna cross the line.
We're gonna agree to disagree.
Below the belt. Yeah, I know when not to push them too much on something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can tell when you're getting to that where I need to just say that's okay. Yeah.
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 I would never approach that line, whatever it is.
But you know what it is?
I don't even know what it is.
You don't even know what it is.
We never get to the point where we have to cross a line.
Good. Okay.
You know?
Okay.
One of the.
But you know what to do to not make Beverly upset.
Yeah, you know what to do not to get me upset.
Actually, I don't. You know, there are. We don't do drama. It's just,
He probably just puts his earbuds on and just keep on moving. Don't even listen.
If she wants to do something, that's fine. Nobody has a gun to your head to make you try to do something.
Okay, I feel you on that.
And when you're mature enough to understand that, your partner does things out of respect for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you do not want to force somebody to do something that they don't want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's adamant about that. He won't go see Smokey. I'm gonna stop asking him to go, so that's fine. We're good.
Yeah.
We know.
Now,
I do want to go to Dubai.
Now, what she can do, as I told you, she gets one get out of jail card a year. And if she said, I want you to go see Smokey with me because it's really important, then I would go.
But I'm not going to use that because I go by myself.
But then, that card is used up. It's done.
I used it last year. You know what I used my card on last year? My token when we were on a cruise. He doesn't like to dance in public around people he doesn't know, like on a cruise.
Gotcha.
It was important to me to dance.
Aww.
And I used my card for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that brought you out of your shell.
Yeah.
You're are both of y'all extroverts, or Julian, are you somewhat of an introvert?
Me?
Are you an introvert?
It depends on the circumstance.
Gotcha.
There are times to keep your mouth shut and to listen. Listening is very hard to do. Sometimes you have to, close your eyes and
Bite your tongue
concentrate
hard.
Yeah.
on what people are really
Yeah,
trying
he's
to
a laid back kind of
trying
check
to
things
tell you.
out.
Yeah.
I'm the extrovert.
And at other times, I can be opinionated,
Mhm.
and you
Mhm.
don't have to understand my opinion,
Mhm.
but you should listen to my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple as
Definitely.
that. Uh, I once had when I was in university, I had a philosophy professor,
Mhm.
and he started the semester by saying, "You may not agree with everything that I am telling you,
Mhm.
but you will understand it when you leave here." And so, I've always taken that tack. You know?
Yeah. Hmm. So the last question for the evening is I want you guys to leave. I know I asked you about an advice for a couple, but um marriage sometimes lately marriage has seemed to be something that people don't believe in as much anymore. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
aren't getting well, let me take that back because a whole bunch of people getting married, but I'm just saying people I just thought about it. A whole bunch of people that got married. But leave you some last words for people who are thinking about getting married, whatever you want to say to the audience regarding love, marriage. This is Valentine's Day, so just think on that theme.
You want to go?
No, it's not.
I would say just be be the person that, in other words, be committed. Don't it's nothing to be taken lightly. Because there are times when you have to set aside things that you want to do or things that you like. You have to compromise. You have to be not you can't be selfish,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be open-minded and be well willing and open and receptive to allow that person in and take their feelings and what they like into consideration along with what your feelings. So you have to, if you're ready to just commit to that and not think about yourself, unless, I mean, if you're like a narcissist, yeah, that's marriage is not for you. Okay.
Let's not even
But
there.
I would say be willing to make the adapting, the adjustments, the for the person that you love, and be in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
All this stuff about, yeah, people getting married, and they, I know people don't, it doesn't work out,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 years later, 4 years later, 2 years later, people are ready to jump out and bail out. It's not, make it where you commit yourself, and if the hurdles are going to come and they're going to go,
Yes.
just be there for it, and don't be so willing to give up so easily. And I
Wait.
know people
Yeah.
give up so easily
Mm-hmm.
over things that really, you know can be avoided,
Yeah.
or may not be a game changer, but some people say, well, they did this to me, or they did that to me. you
Yeah.
know I just, that's my biggest thing, is to be willing and open and receptive, to be supportive of each other, and commitment. It takes a commitment, because as sweet and loving as this man is, sometimes, oh Lord, now that I'm working from home, oh
Mm.
my God, it's like, okay,
Well,
can you go somewhere? Can you go somewhere?
well, I think I mentioned earlier we have two dogs,
Uh-huh.
you know, and they are just, before Beverly started working at home before the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
the dogs and I have our routine.
You got the routine,
We have our
Right.
and
routine.
I'm all up in
And,
the mix.
at one point we had four dogs,
Ooh.
We lost our English bulldog about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then we ended up with the two we have right now that are sitting here looking at us. Uh, but in reference to your question, uh, you have to be willing to compromise,
Mm-hmm.
and compromise is really important, because if you're willing to give up something that's important to you,
Mm-hmm.
uh, for this other person, then that's respect, you
Yeah.
know. And if you have some disagreements about something, then you will. Uh, you have to choose your battles carefully.
Yeah.
Because you may win the fight, but you may lose the war. You know,
Cut off your nose to spite your face.
and
All that.
Yes.
and Sun Tzu said, know the enemy, and keep your friends close to you.
Yeah, the one thing I will say, he comes up with your vocabulary. Sometimes he comes up with these words and sayings. I have to admit that you just whoever you just said, who is that person?
Sun Tzu.
Okay, Sun Tzu. Okay, whatever.
Anyway,
I have to get a dictionary out half the
It
time.
was a Chinese warrior.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
But anyway,
everybody caught that.
Someone is asking you guys a question. Would you say that one should have a servant mindset in marriage?
What's what?
So one have a servant mind in marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll leave this with this parting thought with your viewers. If you can find love, and a lot of us have, as I said earlier in the broadcast, we all have a history, and we all have something that we're proud of or not so very proud of. But speaking for myself, I have found happiness and love and contentment with Beverly.
Awesome.
And may I wish that for each and every one of your viewers, because I am just as content and happy, satisfied. I can think of many adjectives, but in general, I'm happy, and happiness is,
That's all you're looking for. Now what would you say? And I'm being a little facetious, but happiness and joy, because joy is different than happiness. Do you have a joy?
Right. That's a good point.
Well,
that's a good point.
I have a book of sayings, and one of my favorite is, happiness is not the destination. Happiness is the journey.
Exactly.
And I'm taking a journey with a woman I love, and I could not be more pleased with myself.
Wonderful.
I did.
And it does. And to answer your question, the servant mindset is
Erica Galloway.
Yes, I think that's important.
Yeah,
that is important. That's important. That's where a lot of people feel like, I can't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to sacrifice. But that's where I think that makes the difference right there.
I got to stop saying I'm not going to bring nobody their plate.
Right, all that, having that servant, I'm not gonna bring that person that plate.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, my mama's husband told him his food don't taste right unless she serve it. I said, well, he wouldn't eat. He wouldn't. His food wouldn't taste right ever. But I guess I got that. Maybe that's why I don't have no man, Beverly. I'm not serving no plates.
But I don't mean it in a literal sense. Because.
I'm teasing. Well,
but you know what I mean, yeah.
But I'm teasing. I'm messing with y'all.
I know, right?
I'm gonna work on it though. I'm gonna work on it this time around, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna call you, Beverly, and be like, guess what I did? I literally made dinner and I served a plate. I made him a plate.
Well, he serves me.
I do.
But
and I do it willingly.
But it was tough for me to have that mindset of stepping back, because I'm assertive and aggressive and all that, and go getter and all. Sometimes I got to go back and go, oh, okay, wait a minute, okay, he isn't.
My ex, he was very laid back and he cooked. I'm cooking spaghetti tonight because that's one thing I know how to cook. But he cooked the entire meal. I never had to cook. So yeah. So that's why it's gonna be hard for me too. So
that's gonna be hard. Yeah, for you to flip the script.
Well, I say to myself, I'm gonna just sit here and wait for him to come on and decide we gonna work it out. Cause
right,
I ain't gonna find nobody else like that.
I know people who do that all the time. They 20 years later, 30 years later, they're back together. That's amazing to me.
It happens. Well, guys, I want to thank y'all so much. It was such an honor to have y'all on tonight. And I always end with just telling people about themselves and what I think. I'm a people watcher, and I don't people watch in like a messy way. I people watch to say, oh my God, I love that. or I would love to have that. And I watch you and Julian and Beverly and looking for what I'm looking for in life, the love and the joy and the happiness that you guys have. When you're out and about, you're having so much fun. And Julian, when you look at Beverly, you're looking at her like how much you love her. I see that.
Well, I will say this.
Uh-huh.
She is my queen.
Oh, thank you, baby. You my king.
That's the best way to
You
put
my
it.
king.
You can tell.
When we conclude this conversation, I'm going to have an adult beverage.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Well, I'm excited. I had my first adult beverage in a month. I took a dry January.
Oh, good. Yeah.
But so to wind this up is that I admire you both. And I watch you and I look at the things that you do.
Thank you.
I have people tell me that when I say this, they'll be like, you be watching me? Yes, there's Facebook. If I'm out and about, I'm watching. I sit at a table by myself usually, and I'm looking at different things. And so when I see you guys out, it's like, oh my God, they're having so much fun. They're so cute. So keep doing what y'all are doing, and because you never know who's watching.
Yeah, we have people come up to us and say that they noticed us, but you know what? I guess because they surprised me. They said we only been married 4 years. They're probably thinking of 40. But we appreciate you, Trina. You've always been very nice to both of us, and always keep a positive spirit. Always have a good positive spirit. We appreciate that, and we appreciate you inviting us to be on your show.
This has been fun.
This
has been fun.
This is our date night tonight. This is our date night.
It's at the end. I want people to say that they had a good time.
I've never done a Zoom.
Say what?
I said I always want people to end saying that they had a good time, which is why I always say it's gonna be a conversation. Let's just talk. And I'm gonna throw out some questions, but it goes wherever it goes. Matter of fact, I stopped looking at the sheet after a while and just started. So
this is his first Zoom too.
This was my first Zoom, and
your first Zoom. Your first Zoom with Chat with Trina. But guys, thank y'all again so much. I really appreciate y'all joining me, being my first couple of the month. That's always a big deal.
Right.
Take care of yourself. You take care of Beverly. Beverly, you take care of Julian.
We will.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us on.
Bye. Enjoy. Guys,
thank y'all for making the choice to click in the chat with Trina. Say bye to Beverly and Julian. They were wonderful. I was trying to see what Erica was saying. Y'all make sure y'all go to youtube.com/chat with Trina. Please subscribe. I'm still trying to get 500 subscribers.
All right.
But I need the subscribers.
Thank you again, Beverly and Julian, for joining me tonight. It was really great. I love your love story. It is really, really awesome. And you are such an inspiration to all of us who are seeking a mate. Guys, don't forget to go to youtube.com/chat with Trina. Remember to subscribe. I need 143 more subscribers. Thanks and have an awesome day.